Alright guys, so now we want to start the shirt making. We have seen how the shirt was gummed, and then the first thing you need to do is to thread the bottom. Now you and I will know that for female shirts, the right panel houses the buttonhole, while the left houses the bottom. The right panel has the buttonhole, while the left has the bottom. So the left is the one you're going to thread. So thread the left one from here. Now the reason for not threading the right one is because buttonhole will be enough to hold the button allowance, right? It will be enough to hold the button allowance. So you thread the left one just like this. And once you are done threading it, now you will now start joining the panels. Then how do you join it? By simply bringing the back panel. You bring the back panel, you place it down in this form, then bring the right and the left panel, place them on the shoulder region just like this, and then bring the back facing, and then you place it, this is the sleeve, the back facing is this. Bring the back facing, and then you place it just this way. Make sure it's properly placed just like this, and then you thread. Now this threading must be half an inch, right? It must be half an inch. So you thread from here all through this way, half an inch all through this way. After this, the next you also do is you also thread the other side as well. So you also take the other panel, you also place it in this form. You also place it in this form, just like this, and then you bring the back facing as well. You place in front. Make sure that the 3 layers are equally held. The 3 layers must be equally held. And then you sew half an inch as well. Now this is the simplest way you can use to join the panels together. Then you go all through this way. After this now, the next we will do will be to lock the back facing by pulling it backwards, and then you lock here. So if you want to learn how to make a female shirt, this is a great opportunity for you to learn it as well. The lengths might vary, but still the same thing. The length might vary, but still the same thing, right? Then go out through this way, then go out through this way. Make sure that you correspond the back line of the facing iron line with this as well. So once you get to this stage, now the next thing we do now will be to go and hem the to fold. That's you iron the shoulder, trim the neck, and then trim the shoulder, and then this is the joining. So I'll go to the table and do the joining and do the ironing, trim the shoulder, trim the neck. I will come back to show you the continuation. So now I have ironed the shoulder and trimmed the shoulder and trimmed the neck. I have previous videos on this, on how these things can be trimmed. So if you have issues or you don't know how to trim it, watch my previous videos on how to make a regular senator outfit. So the next you're gonna do now is to fix your sleeve. So you fix your sleeve, you notch the sleeve as well, and then place it from the notch point, then join all through this way. Make sure that the joining must be 1/2 inch, right? And then bear in mind that if you had hemmed your sleeve folding, you might still need to top stitch, you might still need to thread it if you want. But if you do not hem, you must thread everything at once. You join all through this way. So one of the most important areas of this outfit is the collar. And I know most people have issues on the collar. So you have to stay tuned to the end of the video to see how the collar will be drafted and fixed as well. So join the sleeves from the center half and center half as well. So make sure everything is properly positioned. So I will do this and then come back to show the result. Alright, so now I am done joining the body of the outfit, as you can see. Now the next thing I will do now will be to lock the measurements. Now in locking, you must have made sure you weave this body, the armhole area, before you lock, right? Because this is for illustration, so I will go ahead and lock. Later on, I will weave. So the measurement for the round sleeve I have is 15. So you mark 15, that is 7.5. So you apply the measurements accordingly this way, 7.5. And then you also mark your customer's bust measurement. So the bust I have is 42. So you start from center points and mark 42. But because I already know the inch I added in my sewing was 1.5, so in closing I use 1/2 inch to close. You can still use 1 inch if you want. I want the shirt to be a bit free on my customer's body, right? Now I can use teleporter as well to close it. So when you get to this stage, you will notice that you're almost done with your shirt stitching, and the next you will do will be the collar, buttonhole, and the hem, and that will be the end of the illustration. So I will get to the collar stage and show you how to go about it. All right, so now we are done with the shirt locking and ironing. So here you start measuring the neckline from the center of the button allowance, measure round back to this center. So this is how you get your shirt measurement. Now the first one you have to measure, there are collar base and collar form. So collar base is the one that holds the collar form. That one you measure from the tip of the folding allowance, measure across all through this way. You measure all through this way. So now this is 18. You remember that the neckline was 16, right? That's, you know, this was one inch extra. That's 18. It will be 2 inches bigger than the neck circumference. So since this is 18, the base will be, the fall will be 16. So let's now start drafting with collar gum. Alright, so now we have folded the collar gum. So 18 is 9. 18 is 9. And then the collar base is 1 inch. Is 1 inch. So you mark 1 inch all through this way. Mark 1 inch all through this way, and you make sure it's properly connected in this form. Now since the collar base is 19, like 9, and the collar fall is 16, that's 8. So from here you also mark 8. You mark 8. Then there are different types of collars, right? So the one I like using, I'll show you here. So from here you mark 2 inches here, and from here you mark 2.5 inch here, and then use your pattern master and then curve it in this form. It goes all through this way, and then you can, make this to fall in this form, and then from here you blend it all through here. Freehand sketch, you blend it out. So this helps you for your collar base and your collar form. So here you gently cut it out. You cut it out just like this. So let's just cut out the block form first. Then later on, we will cut the individual panels. So come to this one. So here we come out through this way. And then cut this out. So let's start going on the bed of the fabric. Alright, so now place the fabric in this form and then place the material you have cut out, give flow that, and then you gum. Make sure you gum very well. It will gum thoroughly before you proceed. So I will gum this and come back to show the results. Alright, so now when you have gotten to the cutting stage and then you cut out the color gum, the fabric in this form, make sure you give the spaces I gave and then cut half an inch down from here 0.5, cut it all through, cut all through, cut all through to this very point. So this is the color base, right, and the color fall together. And then the next you will do now will be slitting this very close to the end of this. Slit this to the very end of this, just the way I am doing, right? And then reduce. Okay, this can be reduced later on. So the next you will do now will be to fold this edge. So you fold this edge. The one that has the color gum will be folded, right? So carefully you fold it. Carefully you fold it. Carefully you fold it. So carefully you fold it all through this way. And then next you will do now will be to go to your machine and then you start sewing. Start sewing. So let's go and start sewing. So now after this now, the next you will do is to thread the collar base. We thread the collar base. We thread the collar base just from here. That's the first thing you will do. Make sure that your hands must be as straight as possible. It must be as straight as possible, right? So once you thread to the very end, this is what it looks like. And then you cut your threads. You also cut your threads. Then you bring the collar fall, the one here, and then place it accordingly how it was gummed initially. Then from here you stitch from here you stitch all through. From here you stitch all through. So this is it. And then you cut this from here. So this is how it looks like. Then cut your thread, cut the edge, and then the next thing you will do now will be to tuck this out in this form. This stuff now, tuck it out in this form. You tuck it out in this form. With the edge to come out very well. And here you use the machine footer and stitch the edge, making sure that it's properly laps, right? So carefully do this. Carefully stitch this, don't be in a haste. So drag it to go down at the one under. And then go all along to this very point. Go all along to this very point. So when you have sewn all through that way, then you lock the base. You lock here so that it can be a one panel. So this is how it looks like, the collar form. And then you fold into two. Then you get the midpoint, which is you notch it. You get the midpoint, just like this. You notch it. Now bear in mind that the gummed area will be placed on the gummed parts of this fall as well. So you also make sure you get the middle of this. Get the middle of this as well. And also indicates the midpoint. Like I told you guys initially, we are going to fold, trim out the excesses here. So I just want to get the middle. I can use chalk and indicate it just this way. And then I'm trimming out the excesses here. You know, I won't use the whole of this now to join. So I'm trimming out I'm leaving like half an inch on this, on the up area of the collar base. Then trim gradually, trim gradually. So once you're done with this, like I said, you notch this as well. Then this other one can go directly. Then the gummed area to gummed area. So how do you know it? The one that doesn't have air. This one has air, that means it's ungummed. So it should be below, down this way. The one that doesn't have air is on top. They merge the both together just this way. And then start from that notched point. Start from that notched point. And start from there to start joining. So here you hold it firmly. Start from there and start joining. Join all through this way. You also make sure that everything is properly positioned, right? Don't make any mistake or whatsoever. So join, and then end it nicely. So you have sewn one edge. So the other edge, you can sew it from the other beginning. So you can start from the other end to stitch this other side. So from here you arrange it nicely and then start from there as well. Stitch, stitch until you get to this very point. Once you have gotten to this very point, cut your threads. Then you can carefully trim 1/2 inch from here. Then curve the excesses here. Cut out this. Then trim the excesses here if it's much. Once you have trimmed to this point, now the next thing you will do, you cut your threads all along. Cut off your threads very well, and then you push it out from here. Push it out with the edge. Turn here over this way again. You push it out again. So this will be what you'll be seeing. Then you are meant to iron this first. You have to go and iron first. After ironing, iron from the front and back, so the excesses of the fabric here will not be squeezing. It will be down, after which you now trim 1/2 inch all through, and then use 1/2 inch to join to the outfit. I will do this and show you as well the result. Alright, so now I have ironed out, and if you observe, the excesses inside was folded this way, the same thing on the other side. Then here I will trim and leave 1/2 inch, that's 0.5. This 0.5 I am leaving is what I will use to attach it to the main body of the shirt. It's very important that you note all of these things I am saying in this video, so that you don't make mistakes when you are trying to make yours. So you go all through this way, you go all through this way, and then this is what you will have. Then you fold it backwards again, and at this point the collar fore and the collar base must correspond. So this is like what you will see when you have achieved a nice collar stitching. Right now you fold here this way, and then get the midpoint, notch it, then bring the shirts and then you also fold the center neckline. Just this way, and then you notch as well. Fold this way as well, and then you notch. So this is how you get the midpoint. So once you have notched the center of the body and center of the collar, you are good to go. Then keep it this way, and then place the notch point to the notched point, the notch to notch, just like this, and then you stitch, making sure that when you drag this, it will reach to this end. Very important, right? Very important. So once you have gotten to this stage, then you now start sewing. Now you have to easily stitch this, don't be in a haste. So hold it firmly, and then you stitch all through. Make sure it's properly held. You stitch all through. So once you have sewn there, so you just confirm it by tucking it inside and confirm what you have sewn right there. So it's okay. So I will start this second stitching from the end of the other side. So I will start from here and stitch the second one just from here. I will gently arrange this and then stitch all along this line. I will stitch all along this line. I will stitch all along here. So this is what I have. So when you have finished decking this now, you cut your threads, cut your threads as shown, and then the next you will do will be you tuck it in from right there, making sure that it's lapped properly, and then start right there to sew. While sewing, make sure that this covers the first line you have sewn, or it's resting on top of the first line you have sewn. Then stitch all through this way. So you have to be patient enough while doing this. Then make sure that the end is also properly taken note of first before you get to the end. So you must properly take note of the end, and then you sew as well. So now you have gotten to this stage. Now the next thing you will do now is to top stitch right here. You gently, climb it. You top stitch right here. The top stitching is very important. It helps the collar to relax. And once you are done, now the last thing you will do now will be to go and iron the collar. You will not iron it from the center joining. You will give a little gap. Let me show you what I mean by little gap. You will not iron it from the folding this way. You will push it up a bit, something of this nature, and then you iron all along, and you are done with your shirt making. The next you will do now will be the buttonholes, or you can go and put the pressing buttons. They want the industrial pressing button, not the normal one, right? And this is all you need to do. So I will show you as well the fitting on my clients, then before we proceed. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye bye for now.